celebrate this year's International Customs Day. The International Customs Day is set aside to commemorate and appreciate customs administrations globally. It is a day designated to honor the customs officials and the agencies for the significant role they play in ensuring that global trade management is efficient, safe, and secure. Let me therefore take this opportunity to first appreciate the KRA customs officers for the good work they are doing in our country. You have enabled KRA to efficiently facilitate legitimate trade without hindrances while protecting the country from threats posed by organized crime, smugglers, commercial fraudsters, terrorists, and even goods that could endanger our citizens. This has consequently contributed significantly to our success as a revenue collection agency. It is through your effort that KRA surpassed its revenue target after collecting for the financial year 21-22 Kenya shillings 2.03 trillion. During this period, Customs and Border Control collected 728.5 billion, surpassing its target of 702.8 billion. This represented a growth of 16.6% and an absolute figure of 25.7 billion. That is the amount by which you surpassed the target. Customs and Border Control has continued with a good trend in the first half of the financial year 2022-23. I'm proud to announce that the department surpassed its half-year target and collected Kenya shillings 387.7 billion against a target of 381.6 billion. We must therefore commend our officers for their dedication and brilliant work. I think they deserve a clap. The first half was very difficult for us in terms of revenue. Very difficult. We were coming from a general election and the transition. We have been in an environment of high exchange, what you call exchange rates that are very high, significant depreciation of the Kenya shilling, and many other issues that have affected our economy. So for customs to have surpassed its target for the half year is truly, truly commendable, and we must pass my appreciation to the last person on the ground. I may not reach them in person, but I appreciate from where I sit that they have made this country very proud. These remarkable results are attributed to implementation of world-class customs infrastructure, professionalism, and adoption of good policies. The good results can also be attributed to KRA's efficient and business-friendly customs services at the border points. Our customs staff work tirelessly around the clock to provide timely and reliable services, as they also implement rigorous security actions at our borders countrywide. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, the government is currently scaling up revenue collection efforts by the Kenya Revenue Authority to Kenya shilling 3 trillion in the year 2023-24 and Kenya shillings 4 trillion over the medium term. This is part of the country's economic long-term turnaround plan. To achieve this, the government will embark on tax administrative and policy reforms. As outlined in the 2023 draft budget policy statement, one of the strategies aimed at enhancing revenue collection is leveraging on technology and enhanced data analytics by Customs and Border Control. Technology has proven to enhance the effectiveness of customs operations, which has consequently improved the national revenue. Currently, KRI has automated all its core customs business processes through the ICMS platform, which has a great potential to transform the way in which we manage our customs procedures. The system has reduced cargo clearance and processing time, enhanced compliance, increased efficiency, and subsequently improved revenue collection. The system is a game changer in facilitating trade in the country and across the region. The system has helped reduce time taken to clear air cargo from an average of 6 days to 48 hours. This reflects a 66% improvement in clearance turnaround time, which has also reduced losses by traders and drastically reduced customers' complaints. KRA has also supplemented the automated business platforms with other supportive solutions that promise to significantly increase the value we drive from automation. These secondary platforms include the cargo X-ray scanners and non-intrusive scanners, regional electronic cargo tracking system, what we call RECTS, pre-arrival clearance, authorized economic operators, one-stop border posts, single customs territory, smart gates, among others. The RECTS platform has played a key role to contain the diversion of transit goods, including motor vehicles and other goods, into the local market. Unlike in the past, when the vice was rampant and hurt the local industries through unfair competition. The system has also helped us cut transit time by more than 75%, and in return boosting trade at the Mombasa port. I know some years ago the issue of transit diversion was very prevalent. Indeed, it was one of our biggest challenges, because we couldn't monitor the flow of goods all along the corridors, all the way from the port of Mombasa to the destination countries. But I'm glad whenever I walk to that 13th floor and I see those diligent officers looking at those screens and monitoring how these things, cargo is transiting and how those alerts are being addressed, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. It tells me that with use of technology and a committed staff, properly resourced, we can change the manner in which our country is run. We can achieve much more for our country. Further, the East African Community Single Customs Territory has minimized the transit goods clearance time. The system has reduced unnecessary trade barriers and tariffs, which has consequently ensured faster movement of cargo to the hinterland. For example, on the northern corridor, the turnaround time for goods transiting from Mombasa to Kampala has now reduced from 18 days to 4, while goods from Mombasa to Kigali from 21 days to 6. The time and cost of transporting goods from the respective port of Dar es Salaam and Mombasa has also reduced from 21 and 18 days to 7 and 4 days respectively. As one of the single customs territory initiatives, the one-stop border post has also facilitated cross-border trade between East African community countries and made the region to be a more attractive destination for investment. Most OSBPs have recorded a reduction in clearance and tracing time and lowered cost of doing business. The average time taken to clear a truck at the OSBPs has reduced to between 5 and 10 minutes compared to the previous 2 to 3 days. I think, as you are aware, we have now deployed scanners at our key borders at Busia and Malaba. We have deployed newer scanners at the port of Mombasa, and it means that now we can scan 100% of the cargo. We don't have to start removing goods from every container to check. So we only check few targeted containers, very, very few indeed. Those that we can see have or pose the risks that we are looking for. So very few of them. This means that if we are maybe scanning 100% and checking about 15% of the containers for further verification, then we reduce the time spent at the port and at our borders. So this kind of technologies and the OSBP kind of platform and the single customs territory have come a long way. We are now, I will also say the authorized economic operator program has also expedites the movement, release and clearance of goods at the ports and border stations by creating a partnership between the customs and businesses where mutual trust is established. Businesses under this program are scrutinized significantly less at the border compared to other regular cross-border traders. The program reduces cargo clearance time and costs associated with importing or exporting cargo, while guaranteeing safe, secure, and legitimate trade. KRI is committed to facilitating the expedited processing of AEO cargo for companies that maintain high levels of compliance as they engage in legitimate trade. Currently, approximately 30% of customs revenue is collected from AEO accredited importers. The authority intends to grow this figure by enhancing trade facilitation for the existing AEOs while expanding the program to include compliant taxpayers in other categories, especially in warehousing and the micro and small and medium enterprises. KRI has also installed smart gates at oil depots. The system allows faster clearance, loading and exit of trucks from the depots. It is expected to eliminate long queues brought about by manual processes. KRI has also adopted advanced risk management module in ICMS, which includes machine learning and artificial intelligence in the cargo clearance process. This has helped in the examination of data captured by merchants to determine the risk levels and
congestions at the port, and the ship turnarounds and the efficiency were very low. But one of the things that we learned from these challenges, because every good crisis is an opportunity to do better, we actually came around and formed what they call the multi-agency approach. And I think this initiative has made work much easier and has allowed us to be able to provide services to our stakeholders. We still know there's a long way to go because excellence is about continuous improvement, and it's our commitment to this nation that we shall continue to ensure that we climb the efficiency curve. A number of things have now happened, in terms of the systems were put in place at the port, and to this end, I can proudly say that we have cut down the number of turnaround of dwell time of our vessels from a long time of 3 weeks to 2.5 days. No waiters, and this has translated into some of the best performances now we're experiencing in the next 2 years in a row, even after the COVID. When Kenya Customs gets busy, it's because also we are getting busy. And we're very happy to be part of this journey to keep on contributing very positive to our economy. I want to recognize the Mombasa office, and all the customs officers working there. It is hard work, and I do accept it, like I've just said, subscribe to sentiments expressed by Joseph. There's no day, there's no night, because we're all a 24-hour operation, whether it rains or not. And whenever there is a problem, both the customs, ourselves, and the other agencies get very quickly involved. So we are thankful that we have also a very positive leadership. Whenever there are challenges that needs to be resolved, we're always getting together with James and his team and be able to ensure that we provide the service to our customers and stakeholders. I know this is a KRA day and not the Kenya Post Authority Day, but I would like again once again to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. This is my first time I'm coming to address this very important gathering, and I'll be listening very keenly to see where we can get the feedback and contributions so that we can continue to do much better than we're doing today. I thank you very much for your attention.
Companies, and we are also going to ensure that we have full scope of what the transactions in that space. The calls that are coming through, the data and everything. Once we make sure we have that full scope and we are not relying on self-assessment or self-declarations, then we are sure that we will be collecting the right amount of taxes.
Just a bit on the telcos, will you be targeting
the business, the revenue, the income they generate, the transactions they generate, and the taxes that we should be collecting from those transactions? We are also going to use that data to now focus on other businesses, individuals who have been making money, earning income, and which has been escaping our dragnet. So we will also be focusing very much on the individuals and businesses, pay bills and the tills and every other transaction in the digital space that we ought to collect taxes from. So that will be the focus, and we believe that we should be collecting much more from this economy than we are doing at the moment. Now, in terms of telcos, we want to collect every tax that ought to be collected. We will go by the estimate. Like I said, we are going by the overall the 3 trillion target for 2023-24 by 30th June. Once we receive that target, we then break it down into the various sectors. About over 70% of our taxes normally come from about 5 sectors. I think one of them is telecommunication, the financial services sector. We have also other sectors like manufacturing and wholesalers. They contribute significantly. We will break it down, that target, and whatever needs to come from every sector, we shall ensure that comes from that sector. So telcos have been paying significant amount of taxes, but we believe there is much more opportunity and much more scope if we are to digitize that, to integrate and monitor that on a daily basis using technology. So while I may not now strictly say this is what we expect from telcos, we will ensure that every tax that needs to be collected from telcos is collected.
The issue of cargo consolidation?
Cargo consolidation continues. Cargo consolidation is a business line also for us, because we have licensed consolidators who put together cargo for traders out of the country and bring it here and distribute to the traders. We have made it very easier for them. We do our surveys and determine the various items that they consolidate and the taxes we should be collecting from them. We believe that we have been facilitating that process for cargo consolidation, and we shall continue to do so. Those benchmark values we normally use, we review them maybe twice a year, and like this month we are also reviewing them, not just for consolidators, but for all the products. We'll be reviewing them to take care of certain changes in the market. So I believe that we will be collecting more taxes from the various goods that come into the country, including cargo consolidation, based on our research and surveys that we always do to update our benchmarks.
Right, and lastly, have you fully addressed the issue of smuggling and some of these containers that, for instance, that say carried furniture and when open you find their cars, etc. Has that been fully addressed?
In terms of concealments and misdeclarations, that we have fully addressed because of the scanning. We scan, and I would like you to visit our 13th floor if you have an opportunity here. You will see that it takes a few seconds for a truck, and that image is received, not just in Mombasa, it's received here at our headquarters. And you will see it, they do it, and they will, when that differs from what is declared, then that consignment is referred for verification. Like I said, we are doing about 15% verification of the goods, but we are doing 100% scanning. So that scanning has helped a lot. That's why we no longer have those concealments, and when they happen, we get them. Those who conceal vehicles, you will see them. If you conceal a vehicle, we will see it on the screen. Whatever you conceal. So we are very experienced analysts doing that. So I'm sure we have fully addressed the question of concealment and those misdeclarations. Probably what we're trying to address much more is undervaluation, but that is what we are addressing through constant review of our benchmarks, the pricings that we normally do for those goods.
Yes, I wanted to know how many
We have onboarded, the number of betting firms are maybe with about 30, 35 that we have around here. We have onboarded around 17 of them, the big ones that contribute 90% of our revenue. The other number which contributes less than 10%, we are in that process of onboarding them. That is a number that we can provide. I may not have it right away, but what I have seen from my analysis is that for every one of them that we have onboarded, there is significant growth in revenue. And I have said some of them have grown with as high as 50% of that revenue, telling us that we have great potential when we continue doing these things. We are doing.
How much have you put from EST? And then the question Kere was supposed to, not Kere but Kenya.
Service tax is going on well. We are collecting, we normally report on a monthly basis what we collect from there. I think what I may want to say about the Kenya and joining the what you call the global approach to taxation of the digital services is that while we are members of the all-inclusive framework, and while we were not able to sign up at that particular point when the others signed, about the one that over 130 countries signed, is because for us we were already operating a digital service tax, and we needed certainty on how whether what we'll be getting through the global approach is going to be better, is going to leave us better, or worse off. So we needed time to reflect on that, and since then we have engaged a lot, and that process of engagement is still on. We are sustaining our digital service tax until we clarify all those issues surrounding how much we shall get compared to what we are getting. We cannot surrender what we are getting without clarity of what we will get. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. And Kenya is very firm in terms of making sure that we do not just move with others. We move because our interests are taken care of.
Knowing that Kenya